One of the most important factors in pitch movement is spin efficiency. The formula for this is simply active spin divided by total spin or raw spin. You're probably used to seeing the raw spin rate number on Baseball Savant, TrackMan, or Rapsodo. While this is helpful, it doesn't give us a full picture of how much of that spin is actually contributing to the movement of the pitch. So that's where spin efficiency comes into play. I think it'd be helpful to show you a couple visuals of exactly what spin efficiency looks like on a scale of 0% all the way up to 100%. So I have a baseball with two dots on it, one on each side. So if we think about these dots being on the side of the ball as this pitch is rotating forward or as it's rotating backwards, if that axis is running straight through these points here, that would be 100% efficiency. As that dot starts to turn and face you, it is losing efficiency, assuming that it is still rotating on this axis here. So if we get all the way to where that dot is facing you completely and it's spinning on that axis, that would be 0% efficiency. So 0% would be here where it's spinning like a bullet. 100% would be where these dots are directly on the side with backspin or topspin. That would be 100% efficiency. Then anything in between would be in between that 0 to 100% range. As I start to turn it more, it starts to lose some of that efficiency. Now it's important to note that the spin direction, so spin direction being the direction that the ball is spinning, of course, so straight back would be 12 o'clock, straight forward would be 6 o'clock. The spin direction does not matter when it comes into spin efficiency. This pitch could be spinning perfectly sideways like this and still be 100% efficiency. It's not until that dot starts to face towards us that it starts to lose the efficiency. So once again, the axis does not matter as long as that axis is running straight through in the direction between first and third base. It doesn't matter if it's side spin, top spin, or back spin. It is still going to be 100% efficiency until that dot starts to turn towards us. Another important note is that in addition to the spin direction not mattering for spin efficiency, the seam orientation doesn't either. As you can see with this baseball, these dots are in a specific spot for four-seam fastballs as well as for cutters. This is a dot ball for that. The orientation does not matter. It has the same principles applying, that as long as the axis is running between first and third base, where that rod coming through the balls between first and third, it would be 100%, and as it starts to face you, it is losing efficiency. You are probably asking yourself now, what do I want my spin efficiency to be for my pitches? The truth is, it's not a simple answer. There's a lot of factors that go into this, including the pitch type, as well as what your pronation and supination bias is. Some guys are naturally going to cut the ball more, and that's going to be advantageous for them, while others are going to turn the ball over for certain pitches, and that's going to work for them. But I'll give you some general guidelines just to get you started in the right direction at least. So four-seam fastballs, typically you want higher spin efficiency, 90% plus, as much as you can ideally, unless once again you have a little bit of cut ride to your pitch. In that case, you would want a little bit less efficiency, but generally speaking, the more true spin on a fastball, the better. For sinkers, you want this to be anywhere from 75 to 95%. Typically on the lower end, that's going to be two-seam orientation pitches. The higher end is going to be more of the one-seam type of sinkers. Curveballs, you want this to be pretty high efficiency, especially if you're going for a lot of depth. 70+% is usually a good goal for that pitch. Cutters, anywhere from 45 to 55%. Gyro sliders, so remember, gyro spin would be here. A pure bullet spin would be pure gyroscopic spin. So the lower the efficiency for this pitch, the better. At least 40% or lower, but probably closer to that 25% or lower for that pitch. For sweepers, the sweet spot is usually between 40 to 60%. If you start to get too low of spin efficiency, it's not going to get as much sweep and get the seam effects that you're looking for. And if you start getting too high, then it's not going to get a lot of seam effects either, and it's going to be just spinning and moving in the direction of the spin direction. For changeups and splitters, there's a lot of variance with this. It can be as low as 60% all the way up to 95%, with those splitters and two-seam oriented pitches being more on the lower end, with the one-seamers being on the higher end. Once again, there's a lot of variance when it comes to the spin efficiency, depending on the pitch that you're trying to throw. Another thing that I didn't really touch on in this episode is the orientation of the seams as well as the spin direction. Both of those are going to play a massive role in the pitch movement along with spin efficiency. Before I let you go, I wanted to remind you about my summer training program in Scottsdale, Arizona. It will be running for 10 weeks from May 27th until August 3rd. This is for high school and college pitchers that are looking to make big jumps in their career with velocity, pitch movement, and command. If you are interested, please reach out with any questions. Otherwise, you can click the link below to learn more.